Scripture portions of the day. Day 322.
Matthew 6. OENT. Pay attention to your charity giving, that you do it not in front of people, so that you may be seen of them. Otherwise, there is no reward for you with your Father in heaven. When therefore you do your charity giving, you should not blast a trumpet before you like the pretenders in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be glorified by the children of men. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But you, whenever you do charity giving, let not your left know what your right is doing, so that your charity may be secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you in public. When you pray, be not like the pretenders who like to stand in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets to pray, and they may be seen by the children of men. And truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But you, when you pray, enter in the closet and lock your door. Pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you in public. Whenever you are praying, you should not be verbose like the heathen, for they think that they are heard by much speaking. Therefore, you should not be like them, for the Father knows that you need before you ask Him. Therefore pray in this way: Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Let your kingdom come, let your will be done in earth, just as it is in heaven. Give us our necessary bread today, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, for the eternity of eternities. For if you forgive children of men their faults, your Father who is in heaven will forgive also your faults. But if you will not forgive the children of men, neither has the Father forgiven you your faults. And when you are fasting, do not be gloomy like the pretenders, for they disfigure their faces, so that they may appear to the children of men to fast. And truly I say to you, that they have received their reward. But you, whenever you fast, wash your face and anoint your head, so that you may not appear to the children of men to be fasting, but to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Do not place treasures for yourself on earth, where moth and corrosion disfigure, and where thieves break in and steal. But place treasures for yourself in heaven, where neither moth nor corrosion disfigure, where thieves neither break in or steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart is also. But the lamp of the body is the eye. Therefore, if your eye shall be sound, your whole body will be illuminated. But if your eye shall be bad, your entire body will be darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great will your darkness be? No man can work for two masters, neither can he hate one and will love the other, nor will he honor one and the other he will ignore. You cannot work for Elohim and for money. Because of this I say to you, you shall not take pains for yourself with what you will eat, with what you will drink, neither your body, what you will put on. Behold, it is not the soul greater than food, and the body greater than clothing? Behold the birds of the sky, for they neither sow nor reap, neither do they gather into barns, and your Father who is in heaven sustains them. Behold, are you not better than they? But who of you, while taking pains, is able to add 1.5 feet to his stature? And why are you taking pains about clothes? Neither the lilies of the field, how they grow without labor or weaving. But I say to you, not even Solomon in his glory was clothed like these ones. But if Elohim so clothes the grass of the field that is today, and fall into the oven tomorrow, does he not multiply more to you, O small of faith? Therefore, do not be concerned or say, what will we eat? What will we drink? Or what will we wear? For the Gentiles are seeking all these things. But your Father who is in heaven knows that all these things are necessary for you. But seek first the kingdom of Elohim and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Therefore you shall not be concerned about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be concerned for itself. A day's own trouble is sufficient for it. Deuteronomy 25, Septuagint. And if there should be a dispute between men, and they should come forward, to judgment, and the judges judge, and justify the righteous, and condemn the wicked. Then it shall come to pass, if the unrighteousness should be worthy of stripes, thou shalt lay him down before the judges, and they shall scourge him before them according to his iniquity. And they shall scourge him with 40 stripes in number. They shall not inflict more. And if thou shouldest scourge him with more stripes beyond these stripes, thy brother will be disgraced before thee. Thou shalt not muzzle an ox that treads out the corn. And if brethren should live together, one of them should die, and should not have seed, the wife of the deceased shall not marry out of the family to the man not related. Her husband's brother shall go into her, and shall take her to himself for a wife, and shall dwell with her. And it shall come to pass that the child which she bare shall be named by the name of the deceased, and his name shall not be blotted out of Israel. And if the man should not be willing to take his brother's wife, then shall the woman go up to the gate of the elders, and she shall say, My husband's brother will not raise up the name of his brother in Israel. My husband's brother has refused. And the elders shall call him, and speak to him, and if he stand and say, I will not take her, then his brother's wife shall come forward before the elders, and shall loose one shoe off his foot, and shall spit in his face, and shall answer and say, Thus shall they do to the man who has not built his brother's house in Israel. And his name shall be called in Israel, The house of him has had his shoe loosed. If men should strive together, a man with his brother, and the wife of one of them should advance to rescue her husband out of the hand of him that smites him, and she should stretch forth her hand, and take hold of his private parts, thou shalt cut her hand, thine eye shall not spare her. Thou shalt not have in thy hand diverse weights, a great and small. Thou shalt not have in thy house diverse measures, great and small. Thou shalt not have a true and just weight, and the true and just measure. Thou mayest live long upon the land which Jehovah thy Elohim gives thee for an inheritance. For every one that does this is an abomination to Jehovah thy Elohim, even every one that does injustice. Remember what things Amalek did to thee by the way, when thou wentest forth out of the land of Egypt. How he withstood thee in the way, and harassed thy rear, even those that were weary behind thee, and thou didst hunger and waste weary, and he did not fear Elohim. And it came to pass, whenever Jehovah thy Elohim shall have given thee rest from all thy enemies round about thee, in the land which Jehovah thy Elohim gives thee in inheritance, thou shalt blot out the name of Amalek from under heaven, and thou shalt not forget to do it. Daniel 11, Septuagint. And I in the first year of Cyrus stood to strengthen and to confirm him. And now I will tell thee the truth. Behold, there shall yet rise up 3 kings in Persia, and the fourth shall be very far rich than all. And after that he is a master of his wealth, he shall rise up against all the kingdoms of the Greeks. And there shall rise up a mighty king, and he shall be a lord of a great empire, and shall do according to his will. And when his kingdom shall stand up, it shall be broken, and shall be divided to the 4 winds of heaven, but not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion, which he ruled over. For his kingdom shall be plucked up, and given to others besides these. And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of their princes shall prevail against him, and shall obtain great dominion. After these years they shall associate, and the daughter of the king on the south shall come to the king of the north, and make agreement with him, but she shall not retain power of an arm. Neither shall his seed stand. She shall be delivered up, and they that brought her, and the maiden, and he that strengthened her in these times. But thou, out of the flower of her root, shall rise one on his place, and shall come against the host, and they shall enter in the strongholds of the king of the north, and shall fight against them, and prevail. Yea, he shall carry with a body of captives into Egypt their gods, with their molten images, and all their precious vessels of silver and gold, and he shall last longer than the king of the north. And he shall enter in the kingdom of the south, and shall return to his own land. And his sons will gather a multitude among many, and one shall certainly come, and overflow, and pass through, and he shall rest, and collect his strength. And the king of the south shall be greatly enraged, and shall come forth, and shall war with the king of the north. And he shall raise a great multitude, but the multitude shall be delivered into his hands. And he shall take the multitude, and his heart shall be exalted, and he shall cast down many thousands, but he shall not prevail. For the king of the north shall return, bring a multitude greater than the former, and the end of the times and years an inviting army shall come with a great force, and with much substance. And those times shall be rise up against the king of the south, and the children of the spoilers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, and they shall fail. And the king of the north shall come in, and cast up a mound, and make us strong cities. And the arms of the king of the south shall withstand, and his chosen ones shall rise up, but there shall be no strength to stand. And he that comes in against him shall do according to his will, and there is no one to stand before him, and he shall stand in the land of beauty. And it shall be consumed by his hand, and he shall set his face to come in with force of his whole kingdom, and shall cause everything to prosper with him. And he shall give him the daughters of women to corrupt her, but she shall not commune, neither be on his side. And she shall turn his face to the islands, and shall take many, and cause princes to cease from their reproach. Nevertheless his own reproach shall return to him. Then he shall turn back his face to the strength of his own land, and he shall become weak, and fall, and not be found. And there shall rise out of his root one that shall cause to plant other kingdom to pass over his place, earning kingly glory. Yet in those days he shall be broken, yet not openly, nor in war. One shall stand in his place, who has been set to naught, and they have not put upon him the honor of kingdom, but he shall come in prosperity, and obtain the kingdom of deceitful ways. And the arm of him that overflows shall be washed away with the flood from before him, and shall be broken. So shall be the head of the covenant. And because of the leagues made with him, he shall work deceit, and they shall come up, overpower them with small nation. And he shall enter with prosperity, and that into a fertile districts. And he shall do what is his father and his father's father have not done. He shall scatter among them plunder, spoils, wealth, and he shall devise plans against Egypt, even for a time. For his strength and his heart shall be stirred up against the king of the south, with a greater force. And the king of the south shall engage in war with a great and very strong force. But his forces shall not stand, for they shall devise plans against him. And they shall eat his provisions, and shall crush him. And he shall carry away armies, as with a flood, and many shall fall down slain. And as for both the kings, their hearts are set upon mischief, and they shall speak lies in one table, but it shall not prosper, for yet the end is for a fixed time. He shall return to his land with much substance, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant, and he shall perform great deeds, return to their own land. At the time he shall return, and shall come into the south, but the last expedition shall not be as the first. The Scythians, issuing forth, shall come against him, and he shall be brought low, and shall return, and shall be incensed against the holy covenant. And he shall do thus, and shall return, and have intelligence with them that have forsaken the holy covenant. The seeds shall spring forth out of him, and they shall profane the sanctuary of the strength, and they shall remove the perpetual sacrifice, and make abominations desolate. And the transgressors shall bring about a covenant by deceitful ways, but a people knowing their Elohim shall prevail and do valiantly. And the intelligence of the people shall understand much, yet they shall fall by the sword, and by the flame, and by captivity, and by spoil of many days. When they are weak, they shall be helped with a little help, but many shall attach themselves to them with treachery. And some of them that understand shall fall, to try them as with fire, and to test them, and they may be manifested in the time of the end. for the matter is yet for a set time. He shall do according to his will. The king shall exalt and magnify himself against every god, and shall speak great swelling words, and shall prosper until the indignation shall be accomplished, for it is the coming of the end. And he shall not regard any gods of his fathers, nor desire women, neither shall he regard any deity, for he shall magnify himself above all. And he shall honor the gods of forces on his place. And a god whom his fathers knew not, he shall honor with gold, silver, precious stones, and desirable things. He shall do thus in the strong places of refuge with a strange god, and shall increase his glory, and he shall subject many to them, and shall distribute the land in gifts. And at the end of the time he shall conflict with the kings of the south, and the king of the north shall come against him with chariots, with horsemen, and with many ships, and they shall enter in the land, and they shall break in pieces and pass on. He shall enter in the land of beauty, and many shall fall, and these shall escape out of his hand, Edom, Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. And he shall stretch forth his hand over the land, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. He shall have the mastery over the secret treasures of gold and silver, and over all the desirable possessions of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians win their strongholds. But rumors and anxieties out of the east and from the north shall trouble him, and he shall come with great wrath to destroy many. And he shall pitch the tabernacle of his palace between the seas in the holy mountain of beauty, for he shall come to his portion, and there will be none to deliver him. Daniel 12, Septuagint. And at that time Michael the great prince shall rise up, and stand over the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of tribulation, such tribulation as not seen at the time that there was a nation on the earth until that time. At that time thy people shall be delivered, even every one that is written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to reproach and everlasting shame. And the wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and some of the many of the righteous stars for ever and ever. Thou, Daniel, close the words, seal the book to the time of the end, until many are taught. Knowledge is increased. And I, Daniel, saw, and behold, two others stood, one side on the bank and the other river, and the other side of the bank of the river. One said to the man clothed in linen, Who has over the water of the river? And when will it be the end of the wonders that thou hast mentioned? And I heard the man clothed in linen, who was over the waters of the river, and he lifted up his right hand and his left to heaven, and swore by him that lives forever, that it shall be for a time, times, and half a time. When the dispersion is ended, they shall know all these things. And I heard and I understood not. And I said to O Jehovah, What will be the end of these things? And he said, Go, Daniel, for the words are closed and sealed up to the time of the end. Many must be tested, and thoroughly whitened, and tried with fire, and sanctified. But the transgressors shall transgress, and none of the transgressors shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from the time of the removal of the perpetual sacrifice, when the abomination of desolation shall be set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waits, and comes to the 1,335 days. But go thou, and rest, and there are yet days, and seasons, to the fulfillment of the end, and thou shalt stand in thy lot at the end of days. Proverbs 19, Septuagint. The folly of man spoils his ways, and he blames Elohim in his heart. Wealth acquires many friends, but the poor is deserted even of the friends he has. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that accuses unjustly shall not escape. Many court the favor of kings, but every bad man becomes a reproach to another man. Everyone who hates his poor brother shall also be far from friendship. Good understanding will draw near to them that know it, and the sensible that will find it. He that does much harm perfects mischief, and he that provokes words shall not escape. He that procures wisdom loves himself, and he that keeps wisdom shall find good. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and whosoever shall kindle mischief shall perish by it. Delight shall not suit a fool, nor is it seemingly in the servants shall begin to rule with haughtiness. A merciful man is long-suffering, and his triumph overtakes transgressors. The threatening of king is like the roar of a lion, but as the dew of the grass, so is his favor. A foolish son is a disgrace of his father. Vows paid out of the hire of the harlot are not pure. Fathers divide house and substance to their children, but the wife is suited to a man by Jehovah. Cowardice possesses the effeminate man, and the soul of the sluggard shall hunger. But he that keeps commandment keeps his own soul, but he that despises his ways shall perish. He that has pity on the poor lends to Jehovah, and he will recompense him according to his gift. Chasten thy son, so that he shall be hopeful, and be not exalted in thy soul to haughtiness. A malicious man shall be severely punished, and if he commit injury, he shall also lose his life. Hear, son, the instruction of your father, that thou mayest be wise in the latter end. There are many thoughts in a man's heart, but the counsel of Jehovah abides forever. Mercy is the fruit of man, and a poor man is better than a rich liar. The fear of Jehovah is the life to a man, but he shall lodge without fear in the places where knowledge is not seen. He that unjustly hides his hand in his bosom will not even bring them up to his mouth. When the pestilence character is scourged, a simple man is made wiser, and if thou reprove a wise man, he will understand discretion. He that understands his father, or dishonors his father, drives away his mother, shall be disgraced, and shall be exposed to reproach. A son who ceased to attend to the instructions of the father will cherish evil designs. He that becomes surety to a foolish child will despise the ordinance, and the mouth of ungodly men shall drink down judgment. Scourges are preparing for the intemperate, and punishment likewise to fools.